Well, hey, Cancer, how about a reading from your metal dog? I am asking about what you are getting started on, what you're getting us started on, what you're getting you started on, what you're getting your collective of Cancerians started on. So let's see, we'll pull a card here about the topic of this new beginning. Woo, a Four of Wands. That is a soulmate connection. It's a party. It is the people that get you, the place, the community amongst whom you can be your authentic self. Can be a wedding, but I'm not really that into that. So that doesn't mean it's not here though. So what do we have going on underneath? Woo, you're finishing some stuff. So you got the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords. So underlying energy was that you have put down a burden and you've come to terms with something in your mind that is over. Stabbed 10 times, it's dead. And this is such an interesting Ten of Wands with this. It's like this giant cicada underneath the earth waiting to come up. I've looked at the description of this card in this deck. But we will look, and it doesn't really help me, but we will keep this image in our minds as we think about this putting down of a burden and coming to terms with something being over, and then beginning to build a new community or to make a new connection. Certainly it's a place where you get to be your true self, Cancer, and that is wonderful. All right. Now, I always think the good tarot is your deck. It was very hard for me to read when I first got it. And Cancerians, you were very hard to read when I first started reading cards on this channel. And let's see what you're willing to tell me today. I presume nothing. I feel no entitlement to your secrets, but perhaps I can help you if you'll open up to me. All right. So we're starting out on something very beautiful, something very fun, and full of love, and full of your soul people. One person or more. And it's new. It's a new beginning that you're starting out on. Okay, so what sparks this? The Hanged Man. All right, so that's a funny thing to spark something. So this is you stuck on divine time, looking at something from a totally new perspective. You get stuck as a hangman, looking at something upside down until you see it differently from how you used to see it. Right? So this would suggest to me that you have been stuck looking at something upside down, and that caused you to see something that will make you be able to make this. Okay? Cool. All right. Now, what you already have as you begin this new adventure, the Hermit. You have the insight of the Hermit who has gone alone, who has reflected on their personal history and learned from it. So you come with that. You have some wisdom. You've had some alone time. And you can see that you have all these keys that can open this door. So what is this door? I feel like you might also have a good wall, a good door, but you've also left the lock. The lock can be open, and you're got all the keys hanging out there. All right, so you have a door, or you have a key, or both. Okay, what you need. You need the Seven of Fire. This is a beautiful card for what this card is about, which is the Seven of Wands. It is about resistance. It's about integrity. And we can see this unicorn, this one of a kind leaping out, and there's these other lights around you. They're different from you. So this is you having the integrity to be you and only you, and not try to fit in to the rest of the crowd. Okay. Taking a leap. It's kind of a fool's energy. There's a very much like you need to begin something new and leap off the edge here like this unicorn, right? Another thing I notice is like, if we're going to work on a project that involves others, right? So we can see in this card, like the others are these fireflies. But there's also like somebody missing here. There's strangely, and I never see this ever, but I am today, so it's important. There's no rider on this unicorn. It's like you're missing there's a missing partner. Like you need, and then of course, like I question whether you need a rider on your back, or that the person or that's missing there. But there is somebody missing from this unicorn, so you might relate to that in some way. Like there could be just like, it could just be fundamental to who you are, that the person that is supposed to ride you as a unicorn, who's like, and I think of this as like a soul connection, is missing, right? So are you getting a new person, or is that just fundamental to who you are? And I can think that it could be either way. All right, what you don't know that the tarot wants you to know. Ooh, Hierophant. So this is more about history, but it is history in the larger sense. Tradition and structure. It's more about the divine, right? So you don't know something about that here. And we will clarify, because I need to know that. I need to know more about that with you as a historian. All right, now the outcome of this, you're starting something, so what's going to happen with it? Queen of Fire, looking like the Queen of the Law of Attraction, looking sexy as hell. This could be you, this could be somebody else. Your element is water, and this one's is a fire. You might have fire in your chart. So the Queen of Fire has lately, more than ever, brought up this meaning that I get from Mystic Witch Tarot, that she is the Queen of the Law of Attraction. And the Law of Attraction says that whatever you focus on will become real. So you may manifest something really positive if that's what you focus on, or negative. In a way, that's kind of an open ending to this reading. This is a really lovely reading in general. It feels just to have a reading about beginning with new soul connections and celebrations. It's a very kind of summery feel, and Cancer, you bring in summer for us. The cardinal signs start each season, and your season that you bring in is summer. And it's so interesting because this party is built on top of this exhaustion and this sorrow. So it's like, and I love that. I think that's that sort of touchstone. Pain is the touchstone, and so to have put down a burden and come to terms with an ending is painful and exhausting, and to build a new thing, given that you've already gone through that, it makes it deeper and richer to me. Okay, that's because I'm 52, and so we get complicated, we get more baggage, right? So your baggage is fundamental to your being able to recognize this authentic soul connection, or this soul community, or this celebration that's coming in. Okay, underneath on the bottom of this deck, some repetition and your card. There's a lot going on. No surprise, Cancer, and I will tell you. Okay, so this is definitely about this stuff here, this collaboration, the Three of Fire, the Three of Wands. This is about making something real with others. That's what the Three of, did I say fire? I mean earth, the Three of Earth, and I gave you the meaning of the Three of Earth. It is about building with others, making something real with other people. There's your 10 of Fire again. So that's this bug under the earth with the man in it. This one makes a lot more sense. I find that bug very provocative. But this one you can see. She has written this music and now she is done with it. It's out in the world. She has set it on fire. So there's that feeling of being finished, of completion, and of just also this, right? Here's your card, the Chariot. There's a lot of momentum. This is that cardinal energy taking off on these horses. It's actually just a raw physical energy that the Chariot card represents, but it's also your card. So you're building with others. There's a putting down of a burden, and there's a forward momentum, and then you kind of hit the 8 of Air. 8 of Air is actually being trapped in your mind, and it's like you're focused down on this loss. I always think of this in this particular version of this card as like you're focusing down on whatever has left all these feathers here. Maybe you might think that your wings have been clipped. But I always get this feeling that this is somebody else, right? This is this, whatever's over, right? That's what you're trapped in. You're captivated by it in this 10 of Air. And yet you have wings. You could fly away. So you have this, you put this burden down. You feel this Chariot momentum. This is who I am. And then boom, you get stuck in your mind. And then we see the 6 of Air, which is the antidote to that. This is you put down the thoughts that keep you trapped and you move towards calmer waters, right? That's very clear that this is what this is about. And you're doing it with other people, right? You're building with others. And to some degree, if we think about cardinal signs, like you have a role, right? You start out a season, you start a project. You're the one who in the group is like, yeah, let's do that. Or I have an idea, let's start that. And then you have the fixed signs, Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo. And they are the finishers. They're called stubborn because they're going to get that shit done. And then you have the mutable signs, Virgo, Sag, Gemini. We tend to think of them as like being two dual personalities, but what they're good at is they close the season and they prepare us for what needs to be done again, and then you start us, you cardinal signs start us on that. So to me, like the 3 of Earth reminds me that you all of the part of this card, which is you depend on a collective, like you build together. Somebody has this strength, somebody has this vision, somebody has these resources, and together you make something real. And what we see you and others, maybe the other categories of signs, or maybe you and your friends, is you're going to put on a party, you're going to build community. And it's coming out of endings. Okay. So let's clarify. We're going to use Light Seers Tarot to clarify. I'm going to have a drink of some yummy chocolate tea. Okay, so the spark that gets this started is you've been stuck. You've been looking at things upside down. And this has caused you to see this new beginning and to initiate this. So let's find out more about the Hanged Man. Intuition, mystery, secrets, the High Priestess. So that's like a download coming in. There's a Knight of Wands, inspiration, fun, fire. And the Knight of Cups, a couple of knights, the sexy one and the true, classy, true love offer. Well, you are actually downloading messages from this Knight of Wands, Knight of Cups. And you're looking at them in a new way, somehow. Right? So you're getting messages. High Priestess. You intuitively know this already. You already know what I'm telling you, perhaps. But you're also you're communicating to these two through the 5D. Right? So So these could be your collaborators. Like the Knight of Wands could be a fire energy. Knight of Cups is a fellow water sign. But there's something happening here. You've been getting this download from these messengers. They've been communicating to you. Knight of Wands, Knight of Cups. And they've been communicating to you in your dreams. However you receive messages, it's not direct, right? They're not right here talking to you. They're communicating to you through across time and space. And what's happening is that you're beginning to see this in a new way. And as you begin to see this in a new way, this connection that you have to this, it's either these two messengers or this one messenger that is both sexy as hell and true blue love. There's something that you're seeing in a new way. Okay, so we'll find out more, hey? Let's see. Let's keep going. So this is what you bring is the Hermit. This is the wisdom that comes from reflecting on the past, your own personal history, the Hermit. It's like looking into your inner light, what you know, your wisdom that is inside of you, and you go alone to do this. So this is what you've done, what you know, what you bring to this new project, this new Four of Wands. So there's a Seven of Swords. So this is a card of secrets, privacy. To me, it's very much like the way that you Cancerians can go alone into your shell and be very private. Sometimes the Seven of Swords is like lying and stealing, but I don't get that here. I just get your ability to be very private and secretive even. And some people may find this to be a fault. There's some more of this feel of you alone. And the Two of Wands. This is actually you envisioning. There's some more fire energy. And then wish fulfillment and healing. To me, this feels like what you've just completed. You completed some time where you stole away, you went alone, and you worked on healing. And then I can see too, like again, that the same connection across time and space. Like you've been connecting to these messengers, this Knight of Wands and this Knight of Cups. And in the process of this connection, you've come to see something in a new way. And then it allows you to have some kind of wish fulfillment here. All right, Cancer. What you need some of this, some Seven of Fire energy. Think about what is that? What do you lack? What do you need? Is it coming from someone else? Is it coming from inside of you? And for me, like a unicorn is magical, so you might need magic. A unicorn is singular, so there's unique, so there's a sense of acceptance that you are one of a kind. And then this card is this unicorn leaping off, kind of like the Fool card, full of faith, off on a new adventure. So that kind of chariot, cardinal initiation here. Okay, so let's clarify this. Seven of Fire. It can be resistance, but this card doesn't speak, the imagery doesn't speak of resistance to me. It's often the Seven of Wands is like somebody holding up a wand, which represents your willpower, in opposition to anyone that might have competing ideas with you. Okay. All right, so this is what you don't know. It's the same card here, the Hierophant. So this is very much about a divine historical connection. It's coming in a little bit ancestral. We can see, again, you're making connections across time and space here. So this is what you need. And that's what you don't know. What else? Yeah, more of this. Page of Cups. It's like a light, flirty, silly, young energy. Could be an inner child kind of or young people around you. It's a young energy. Sort of silly, like you can see a flying pig. There's the cup. There's these little hands making this sort of silly, iconic image of a heart. Yeah, and all of this is kind of coming out of your heart. So this is another thing that you need. And again, like so much about connecting to elsewhere, right? So much connecting across time and space to the divine. So thirdly, here, a mystery. The moon, card of your fellow water sign, Pisces, going into the emotional depths. Some moon work, inner child work coming up here in another way. So what you need, and this is hard to see clearly because you don't have it yet, right? So, but you should look for this. Like the Hierophant can be a teacher. The Hierophant can be a mentor. But the Hierophant can also be tradition and custom and history, grounded in like an established set of a stairway to connect with the divine. So we can see like there's a structure here that gives you a way to go through this portal. And then you're accessing all this magic. There's a lot of magic here. I would say what you need is to believe in magic again. And that, you already have a practice, a hermit, of accessing that, accessing your own inner light. And so you know how to access your light, your vision. This is very magical too, right? This connection. But there's more work to be done here of making these magical connections. The unicorn leaping off into the darkness makes me think about if we see you leaping off and going underwater, which is your element. You can see the light and the dark, the moon. There's a lot of exploring your depths here in order to access magic. And that's what you need to do. There may be a teacher. There may be this sort of light-hearted love connection, but there's certainly, you already know how to go into yourself, and the moon says more moon work is still needed to be done. So who's this Hierophant? What is this about? Right, we've just seen this under what you need, and the tarot says this is what you need to know. So what about it? What about it, tarot? Take it easy. Go slow. Have a good plan. One step at a time. One day at a time. Unburden yourself of things and walk on the earth beside your horse. I love it. 7 of Cups. There may be illusions and projections amongst all of the choices. So don't get caught up in all the choices and get distracted by clutter and confusion, projection, fantasy here. What else? Clarity. She's a good antidote to the 7 of Cups. So the Queen of Swords, she holds that sword, represents your mind, the truth. She uses it. She will draw that sword and she will cut out what she doesn't need and keep the rest. So this is what you don't know. Yeah, what this just says is like there's a tradition that gives you a plan, it gives you clarity, and will help you remove illusions and projections, and stay very grounded in the truth and what's practical. And it takes time. So it's a slow tradition that you need, because that's under what you need here, but also which is, it looks very useful, in particular for helping you sort through some of the emotional 7 of Cups projections that you might get overwhelmed and stuck. Okay, so let me see you in the future. beautiful, or somebody, a queen of fire in your future, you or someone, queen of the law of attraction. So what about this? The sun. Yeah, there's so much here about authenticity and joy and wish fulfillment. This is the happiest card in the tarot. It's a card of Leo. Queen of Fires, more Leo fire. There's an Emperor energy, decisive, being a leader of your own life. Aries energy, more fire. Lots of fire. People of fire. Leo. Aries is also cardinal. Emperor, I don't know. And then action and communication. More fire. Wow, this is very fiery future. No, you're just in the future. This process that you're starting out on, it leads you absolutely into this authenticity in particular of this. And with the Four of Wands, authenticity is because the Four of Wands, it's like a table. It's stable. It's up on the surface. All four legs of the chair, right? So there's a stability. It's up on the surface, and it feels authentic to me. And when I think of your soul connections, that you're starting out, you're making new soul connections, like, or you're planning some kind of party with the people that you feel get you and know you. That's coming from you're able to manifest absolute joy, absolute certainty that is founded on that joy, and then to act from there. And it's actually a very simple message, but there is a story here of something has ended. You've put down a burden and you're done with something. The putting down of some kind of burden is here twice, very clear with that 10 of Wands or fire. And then, so we see that you're coming to terms with something's over. There's a momentum that you get out of this acceptance, but then you come up against your mind, and then you, with that 8 of air, right, you forget you can fly, and then you remember you can fly, and you fly off like this is a Peter Pan, eternal youth way of flying. That's what this card makes me think of. So yeah, there's something about whatever has ended. If it's like somebody, there's messengers, right? This Knight of Wands and this Knight of Cups. These messengers that you communicate with across time and space. And they've caused you to see something in a new way, or you're beginning to look at them in a new way. You've looked into yourself and you found healing. You've done that, and this is what you come here with. Now you need to do more moon work. You need to access magic. And what you don't know is there's some kind of a teacher that will help you get the clarity and the practice. There's a rigor to what this Hierophant brings. It's either a tradition or a teacher. Will help you sort through all of your complicated feelings. And then we see you in the future, beautifully manifesting from absolute joy and authenticity and taking action from that. And one card on the bottom, a King of Cups. This is your watery energy. This King of Cups is emotionally intelligent and very private. So the King of Cups is private because he has a whole kingdom who is expressing their feelings to him or them. And I mean, this could be you. You could be the Hierophant too for others, but this is the Hierophant energy. This is the teacher energy around you. And I really feel like there's this way that he's touching the bowl that represents your emotions, your waters, your heart. And there is like a way of that you're making contact emotionally in this watery element that is your element, right? Like, here you go, deep down into the water. that you're and all the Knight of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the King of Cups are here. The only one missing is the Queen, and she's actually upside down here in the Good Tarot. So this to me is you in your emotional depths. Like it's almost like, because we see the Chariot here, like you're coming into your authentic self in this reading, and from your knowledge of who you are comes a certainty and this ability to act, and to make this Four of Wands, this beautiful party, this beautiful soul connection, on some level in the world. It could be very personal, and it could be in a much larger, broader way. So it's a beautiful reading, Cancer, and I can really feel something that has shifted in you, and from prior readings, where I just feel like you're in the tens, like you're finally getting ready to move, and to act and to make, and all that you need to do this is magic. That's very clear. You need magic, and what you don't know is you actually have a tradition that you can work with in order to make this real. So that's very interesting. I would love to know more. Please do let me know if this resonates with you, and how so. All right, have a beautiful day.